Welcome, friends. This is Under the Arch Sports. I'm Eric,
And I'm David.
and today we're going to preview Mizzou's game against Vanderbilt. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and find us on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, so David, Mizzou is coming off the bye week, and well, they get as close to a second bye week as you're going to get playing in the SEC.
Well, as much as I want to say that, I don't know if any of you watched, but Kansas almost knocked off Oklahoma. Therefore, I must throw out be careful.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially with the issues this team has. Fair enough, but Mizzou should have an easier time of this one.
At least based off what Vegas is saying.
Yeah. Mizzou opened as a 17-point favorite. As of us filming this, it's the line's at 16 for Mizzou. So Vegas is confident that Mizzou will take care of business. You know, I think the offense look when they match up against Vanderbilt. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of issues this week. Although Mizzou did suffer a fairly significant blow during the bye week, learning that right guard Case Cook is done for the year.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much that will impact the Vandy game. However, the rest of the season, we might be in huge trouble, especially against a team like Georgia and even maybe South Carolina. It really worries me because if you can't run the ball, now you're talking about a one-dimensional short game offensive playbook that really takes the ball out of Basilek's hand because he can't throw the ball deep. So it really diminishes what kind of an effect, if any, our offense has.
Yeah. Now, luckily for the Missouri offense, they're going against a Vanderbilt defense that's not good. Let's face it.
Still
Yeah,
better than us.
I just looking at the results that they've had in SEC
Sorry.
play. Vanderbilt gave up 62 points to Georgia. They gave up 42 points to Florida, 46, I believe, to Mississippi State. Their only conference game with a modest score given up defensively was against Carolina. South Carolina beat them 21-20. Other than that, it's just been blowouts. Really worse than Mizzou has had. I guess better teams, to be fair. So I like to think that the Missouri offense is going to have some opportunities to kind of find its rhythm, regain some confidence. If it's not this week, it's not happening this season.
Well, I guess the one positive that comes out of that Case Cook injury is you get to see what you have in your other offensive linemen, and it gives them a week to prepare for tougher battles down the line. Um,
Yeah.
the other thing I'd look at is hopefully Mizzou can get a big enough lead to where they can put their backup quarterbacks in and see what they got there. Um, I don't know how much of a leash Basilek has, but he definitely needs to look to right the ship after the A&M game. He did not look good. He had a lot of high passes. He had three picks or almost three picks.
It was
It was
two with a third that should have happened.
yeah. It was an ugly game, ugly look for him. Um, I look to see him try to right that ship and get in a groove again offensively. Um, Again, I don't know exactly what that looks like, if he puts more touch on the ball with the short passes or what. I know he's not accurate at all with the deep passes, but at this point, we know what you get with him. Uh, I would love to see them get up enough to where they could put Macon or Cook in there just to see what we have and just get them work. Um,
Yes.
I mean, we haven't seen him get any work this year. Anyway, that's my thought on that.
Yeah,
Flip
and
side
for
of
the
it.
Missouri offense, they're fortunate to be going against a Vandy defense that's really been struggling. I talked about how many points they've been giving up. They've only got 7 sacks on the season, so Basilak should have some time to hopefully make better throws. The defense for Vanderbilt is led by one guy. That's the linebacker, Ethan BARR. He's got 59 tackles on the season. That's 20 tackles more than anybody else on the Vandy defense. So Mizzou fans need to just keep the ears open for the name Ethan BARR. I think we're going to be hearing a lot of him on Saturday.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what our offense does coming off a bye week. I know Eli has always been a short game type person, like the short passes and so forth. I'm sure he's going to come up with a good game plan to attack their defense, and I honestly think our offense is going to be fine during this game. Moving to the other side of the ball, taking a look at Missouri's defense against Vanderbilt. The first thing worth mentioning is Jamie Pettway entered the transfer portal. He's a linebacker for Mizzou. I mean, I don't know if that's good or bad, to be honest with you. What are your thoughts on that, Eric?
In terms of what Jamie Petway brings to the table in terms of overall play, I don't think it's a huge loss. I think the impact is felt bigger just because there's not a whole lot of talent at linebacker at all. So his minutes have to go somewhere. And you're talking about either Chad Bailey, Devin Nicholson, kind of just eating up more minutes and not getting any more rest on the sidelines, or you're talking about going even further down the depth chart, which kind of scares me.
Now, defensive scheme-wise, it'll be interesting to see what Mizzou does. Again, they had a bye week to work on things, so do they come back out in 4-2-5? And do they have the scheme down better, or do they make some changes over the last 2 weeks and implement some new things? It's going to be interesting to see what they do. I expect this week our defensive line will be able to play pretty well against Vanderbilt. Again, I'll going off the record. I think we have the smallest D line in the league, but I'm not sure. But they should be able to play fairly well and hold their own against Vanderbilt. For once, we're not playing a top NFL line, which we seem to hear every week. I would love to see him stop the run more. Again, that's your main focus. But at the same time, you can't forget about your passing defense as well. I would almost feel comfortable playing our D-backs in a man and just forcing them to pass on us, in all honesty. Daring them to pass on us and then loading up the box to stop the run. But we'll see if they made some changes over the bye week. Who knows? Again, I've said it in previous videos. Until we stop a Power 5 team running the ball, I'm not going to believe it.
Yeah, and once again for Missouri, it looks like it's going to be a situation where you got to keep an eye on the football. What I mean by that is that Vanderbilt's starting quarterback, Ken Seals, he's listed as doubtful, according to what I've seen. So what that means is Vandy may be starting Mike Wright. He is their backup, and Ken Seals, not a real threat to run, kind of like a Basilak. But Wright is. He's run the ball over 40 times this season in less playing time than Seals. And, he's not prolific necessarily, but they will run plays where he can run. So it's something that Missouri's going to have to be aware of. That is especially important and worth remembering, given the fact that Chris Turner, the defensive end, he is also out for the year. I think that Turner has really, really struggled when it comes to contain, which is a defensive end's number one job. So I got mixed emotions on that one. You hate to see a guy. Well, I'll clarify. I never like to see anybody injured. I got mixed emotions on what the impact will be. Especially with a dual threat quarterback who can run. It's, next man up, keep the quarterback in the pocket. That's going to be key, because neither Seals nor Wright are particularly deadly throwing the football down the field. Now, for Vanderbilt, running back, same old story for Mizzou. You're going to hear the running back's name a ton, I'm sure. For Vanderbilt, that's going to be a whole lot of ROCKO Griffin. He has 89 carries on the year, but just under 300 yards, 296, I believe. He's averaging 3.3 yards a carry, which over the course of a season is not that impressive. That said, he's played defenses better than Mizzou every single week because Mizzou's is the worst. He's running. So I don't know how much those statistics mean going against Missouri's run defense. It would not surprise me at all if ROCKO Griffin and his less than 300 yards on the year went for 120 by himself. In fact, I think I expect that to happen. There's just
that's especially with the threat of a running quarterback.
Yeah, I think it's incumbent on the Vandy coaching staff to just kind of confuse, run the RPOs and option type stuff, and leave the Missouri defense guessing because Missouri's defense has been bad enough stopping the run when they know exactly who's getting the ball. If they've got to hesitate and wait to see who has the ball, it's just another challenge, another added element for this Missouri defense to struggle with.
All right, and now Eric, real quick before we get into our predictions, I wanted to mention with Kansas covering against Oklahoma this last weekend, Mizzou and Clemson now are the only two teams who are 0-7 against covering the spread. Just food for thought.
Yeah, and I'm going to pick Mizzou to win, but I'm not going to pick them to cover. The line being 16 as of us filming this. It's not really on the offense, even though I think they're going to be less effective running the ball with Case Cook out for the year now. I still got Mizzou putting up 41 points. I think the run defense is just so bad that they're going to give up 27 of their own to Vanderbilt. So I'm going to go with Mizzou to win, but not cover, 41-27.
And I actually went a little bit the other way on that one. I took Mizzou 38-21 and to cover finally. However, I personally would not put money on it.
No.
Just throwing that out there. And the only reason why I said it is we're coming off a bye week, and I honestly think they may have taken some time to work on some things defensively, and I think they'll do a little bit better job, especially against a team like Vandy, in stopping the run. Again, have no idea if that's going to happen or not. Could be wishful thinking, but my prediction again, 38-21. Anyway, that's all we have for this week's predictions and Under the Arc Sports. Thank you for watching.